The monthly board meeting for the Shell Rock River Watershed District for February 10th, 2026. It's called to order. Please call roll.
Manager Bakken,
Here.
Manager DeBoer,
Here.
Manager Kramer,
Here.
Manager Pasuski,
Here.
Manager Lee,
Here.
Manager Delger.
Here. Item number 2, public forum. I do not see anybody here. Suppose nobody signed up either. We'll go on to item number 3, approval of the agenda. Are there any additions, corrections, or deletions?
Mr. Chair, we have one addition. It'll be labeled 5F. This is a project initiation for the stream or no. AMA project, AMA Stream Bank Restoration Project. It'll be 2026-04. That'll be all we have.
Do I have a motion to approve with the addition? So by Manager Kramer, do I have a second?
Second.
By Manager Lee. Please call roll.
Manager Bakken,
Aye.
Manager DeBoer,
Aye.
Manager Kramer,
Aye.
Manager Pasuski,
Aye.
Manager Lee,
Aye.
Manager Delger.
Aye. Carried. Okay, then item number 4, consent agenda. The following items will be acted upon without discussion in accordance with the staff recommendation and associated documents unless a manager requests opportunity for discussion. A, minutes of the January 13th, 2026 Shell Rock River Watershed District regular board meeting. B, minutes of the February 2nd, 2026 Shell Rock River Watershed District Best Value Committee meeting. C, minutes of the February 9th, 2026 Shell Rock River Watershed District Dredge Committee meeting. D, January 20th, 2026 Treasurer's report subject to audit. E, January 2026 Project Fund Treasurer's report subject to audit. F, authorized payment of claims. G, authorized payment of project fund disbursement. Do I have a motion to approve?
So moved.
Manager Tuski, do I have a second? Second. And Bakken, any discussion? Hearing none, please call roll.
Manager Bakken,
Aye.
Manager DeBoer,
Aye.
Manager Kramer,
Aye.
Manager Pasuski,
Aye.
Manager Lee,
Aye.
Manager Delger.
Aye, carried. Item number 5, project and program manager Courtney Phillips.
Morning. The first item I have is a motion to enter into engineering services with Jones Haugen Smith for the Upper Twin Lake WMA wetland restoration. This is a project that we are funding through our Lessard Sands Phase 11 funding. It is out at the old Church Lake property. We have since donated that property to DNR, but there was restoration potential on the site. We didn't have funding at the time, now we do. And so we are working with the DNR through a permit process on this one to allow our engineers and consultants to enter the site. Looking at the service agreement with Jones Haugen Smith, their recommended fees are $8,500 to almost $11,000. It'll just be billed per hour basis. And we feel like that is satisfactory and is a good rate. We're looking to enter engineering services agreements with them.
Do I have a motion? So by Manager DeBoer, do I have a second? Second. By Manager Pasuski, any discussion? Hearing none, please call roll.
Manager Bakken,
Aye.
Manager DeBoer,
Aye.
Manager Kramer,
Aye.
Manager Pasuski,
Aye.
Manager Lee,
Aye.
Manager Delger.
Aye, motion carried.
Thank you. The next item is resolution 2026-02, initiate Bigham, Twin Lakes, and Goose Creek WPA projects. This project list is funded through our Lessard Sands Outdoor Heritage Council Phase 14 of the Habitat Restoration Program. This is going to be working with U.S. Fish and Wildlife Service to complete basically diversified seeding and vegetation maintenance on some of their properties. Additionally, they have one parcel that had a dike put in, but the dike is blown. And so we are looking to replace that dike so that we can get water potential and storage back in place. The construction cost that we have is roughly $141,000, but we are working with U.S. Fish and Wildlife through a memorandum of understanding. And so we need to initiate that project so we can move forward with getting that memorandum of understanding or agreement completed before we start construction.
Do I have a motion?
So moved.
Manager Lee, do I have a second? A second. Manager Kramer, please read the resolution.
Resolution 2026-02, Bigham, Twin Lakes and Goose Creek WPA projects, initiate project 2026-01. Whereas the Shell Rock River Watershed District Board of Managers pursues the mission of implementing reasonable and necessary improvements to the water-related and other natural resources within its boundaries. Whereas the Shell Rock River Watershed District is charged with implementing the Shell Rock River Watershed District Comprehensive Watershed Management Plan. Whereas project goals and objectives set forth in the plan include improve water quality and clarity to district lakes, improve and enhance waterfowl habitat, minimize flood damage to property and preserve the function of the floodplain, restore wetlands upstream and increase native seeded plantings. Therefore, the Board of Managers hereby finds that the project has the potential to promote the public interest and welfare, is practicable, and conforms to the watershed management plan as set forth above. Therefore, be it hereby resolved that the Shell Rock River Watershed District, Section 1, initiates project number 2026-01, Bigham, Twin Lakes and Goose Creek WPA project. Section 2 authorizes district staff to negotiate appropriate professional services agreements to promote and complete the Bigham, Twin Lakes and Goose Creek WPA project. And Section 3 authorizes district staff to conduct work as needed to present this project to the board for review and public hearing as required by law, dated February 10th, 2026.
Is there any discussion? None, please call roll.
Manager Bakken.
Aye.
Manager DeBoer.
Aye.
Manager Kramer.
Aye.
Manager Bestuski.
Aye.
Manager Lee.
Aye.
Manager Delcher.
Aye, resolution 2026-03 passes.
Those your two. Next on the agenda.
I jumped.
Yeah, you're fine. The next resolution is 2026-03, initiate Sanderson wetland restoration. Again, this follows a Lessard Sam's purchase. This is ground that we had purchased using Lessard Sam's property. When we were looking at doing the restoration costs, Bowser approached us, which is the Board of Soil and Water Resources. They have peatland restoration funding dollars that comes from federal sources that they would like to use. And they are going to be doing some of the engineering. However, later in the agenda, we have an agreement with Jones Haugen Smith potentially. But we need to initiate this project so that we can move forward because it's going to be a reimbursement style basis. Although the restoration construction costs are going to be funded by Bowser, they're going to be run through us. So we'll get reimbursed for those contract costs. But again, first step is always initiating the project.
Do I have a motion? Manager Lee, do I have a second?
Second.
By Manager Bestuski. Is there any discussion? I'll read the resolution first. Yeah.
Resolution 2026-03, Sanderson Restoration Project, initiate project 2026-02. Whereas the Shell Rock River Watershed District Board of Managers pursues the mission of implementing reasonable and necessary improvements to the water-related and other natural resources within its boundaries. Whereas the Shell Rock River Watershed District is charged with implementing the Shell Rock River Watershed District Comprehensive Watershed Management Plan. Whereas project goals and objectives set forth in the plan include improve water quality and clarity to district lakes, improve and enhance waterfowl habitat, minimize flood damage to property and preserve the function of the floodplain, restore wetlands upstream, and increase native seed plantings. Therefore, the Board of Managers hereby finds that the project has the potential to promote the public interest and welfare, is practicable, and conforms to the watershed management plan as set forth above. Therefore, be it hereby resolved that the Shell Rock River Watershed District, Section 1, initiates project number 2026-02, Sanderson Restoration Project. Section 2 authorizes district staff to negotiate appropriate professional service agreements to promote and complete the Sanderson Restoration Project. Section 3 authorizes district staff to conduct work as needed to present this project to the board for review and public hearing as required by law, dated February 10th, 2026.
Now, is there any discussion? Hearing none, we call roll.
Manager Bakken.
Aye.
Manager DeBoer.
Aye.
Manager Kramer.
Aye.
Manager Bestuski.
Aye.
Manager Lee.
Aye.
Manager Delcher.
Aye, resolution 2026-03 passes.
Thank you. Item D is a motion to enter into engineering services with Jones Haugen Smith for the Sanderson wetland restoration. So as I mentioned previously, Bowser is going to be the engineer that develops the plan set. However, we need an engineer to help us with the bidding process, so they'd be the ones who are advertising the bid, reviewing the contractors that put in bids, as well as helping with construction oversight and doing final closeout. So we need additional services on top of what Bowser can provide. And looking at their proposal, they have roughly $6,125 listed as their estimated cost. Again, this is just going to be a fee per hour rate of what they would charge us, but it would not exceed that we're expecting.
Okay, Do I have a motion? Someone, Manager Kramer, do I have a second?
Second.
Manager Pasuski, any discussion? Hearing none, will you please call roll?
Manager Vaca,
Aye.
Manager DeBoer,
Aye.
Manager Kramer.
Aye.
Manager Pasuski, Manager Lee, Manager Dalton.
Aye. Carried.
Thank you. Item E is a grants update. I have not heard from the MPCA on their climate change grant. I did reach out. Things are a little slower than normal. So hopefully within the next month, we'll hear on that. I also did reach out to the DNR on their aquatic invasive species funding that we applied for curly leaf treatment in Fountain Lake. Again, have not heard. They're expecting within the next 2 weeks that we would potentially hear from them. Additionally, regarding the aquatic invasive species, we are looking at potentially using other sources of grant funding to fund that, whether it be using Warren County's aquatic invasive species funding that they get. We plan on speaking at a workshop in March for the county to see if they would help contribute some funds, as well as potentially using our watershed-based implementation funding to fund those. Because last year, we just used our general fund dollars to treat the lake. We know that curly leaf management is gonna be more of an annual thing that we're gonna have to contribute to. So we're looking at potential additional sources of grant funding so that we wouldn't have to use our general dollars. So we will keep in touch on that. Additionally, when we were doing our status update for our Lessard Sands project, we realized that we are gonna have extra funds in our phase of funding, which is our oldest phase of open funding that expires June of 2027. We got all the projects completed, but they came in under bid, specifically with our most recent Hine restoration. So we were looking at roughly 400 to 500,000 that we were gonna have left over. And so we do not want to return that back to the state. So we want to look at potential projects that we could do. And one of the things that is going to be the easiest or most simple is implementing fixes on the AMA street bank site. If you remember it was like probably 2021, 22, we did the tree revetments, rock arch riffles, and those permeable dikes. However, that following spring, we had a big flooding event and a lot of those tree revetments washed away. And some of the rock arch riffles just didn't have the right rock quantities when we implemented them. 2 of them are functioning great, 3 of them not so much. So we're looking at implementing those extra dollars to touch up and fix areas of the AMA stream bank. I've already had early coordination meetings with the DNR and they are favorable to us getting that done within a timeline. So it would basically just be touching up the project plans that we had already moved. But just because of that flooding event, things were kind of destroyed. And we would plan on doing kind of engineering over the summer for winter construction so that we'd be able to spend those funds by June of next year. And it would just be an amended permit type process. We wouldn't have to apply for a new public waters permit. And all the modeling was done the first time. And so we're looking at the initiation AMA stream bank item F, which follows, is initiating that project back in so that we can spend those funds and not have to return them back to the state.
Okay. Good.
So there's no other questions for grant updates. I'll move to that initiation discussion.
What would happen? I mean, it's nice that we have that overrun to fix these problems, but if we didn't have that, we still would have to fix those.
Not necessarily. We've worked, the DNR has been a great partner in this project for the AMA stream bank restoration. It's their property and it was definitely an area of concern along the river. And when we implemented this project, we realized that we were kind of short of rock quantities when we did it, just because we were running out of grant funding in that phase. So we were under the understanding that, we basically funded what rock quantities we could. And then we did a site walk this fall, it was last fall with the DNR. And they've done, stream surveys of the stream following that. And the 2 rock riffle structures that are just upstream and downstream of where the wastewater treatment plants go into the river are working phenomenal. Those were like full rock quantities, working great. The other ones, they're functioning, but you're not getting the scour effect that you really want to see from the rock riffles. And so we had conversations like, they're working now, okay, some of them, but we would really like to see in the future, if you had additional fundings, could they be modified? So it wasn't like we need to do this right now. It's just if funding presents itself, and then we realized we had some funding that presented itself, so that's why we're deciding to go in and do the restoration now.
Good.
So it wasn't like it was erosion that was getting worse, it's just not the habitat benefit we wanted to see because of that flooding.
Perfect. Yes, Hawkins.
I have no problem sending some funds back. It comes from the citizens of the state of Minnesota. So sometimes when we look at this, like I say, it doesn't bother me to send some back, but
I would have to check on the process, but it's not like they would go back to the general fund. They would just be redistributed to the LaSarge Sam's Council to then be redistributed to other applicants. So it's not like it would go back to the pot of money and everyone would pay less taxes, but you also gotta keep in mind that we don't necessarily wanna send funds back because then they might not be so willing to give us funds again. So we've had a really good record of spending those funds. And the council looks highly of that, of not having to return funds and that we can utilize them. And this is a bonus project, so it's not like we didn't get the projects completed, we did, we just had additional funding.
but if we get engineers' estimates and the bids come in less sometimes than the engineers' estimates, to me, it'd be okay to send some back once in a while. So, thank you.
Okay, anything else?
Yeah, just a question. You said you did two of the structures you were able to do fully in the working rate. The other three, because you ran out of money, you just kind of cut back on each one. Wouldn't it have been better just to build up the specs until and then you finish it up?
So there was a little bit of a issue with the bidding documents. So the engineers that we had at the time actually spec'd the amount of rock quantities wrong in the bidding document. And that wasn't determined until construction. So we didn't understand that there was gonna be a shortage of rock quantity until we were in active construction. And the contractor realized, hey, we're running out of rock here, why is that? And it was because the quantities in the bid spec were wrong compared to what the plan set called for. So it was unknown at the time.
Any other questions?
Would you like me to read then the resolution for initiate the AMA stream bank?
We have to have a motion first.
Yep.
I have a motion for the AMA stream bank. I mean, if you're legal, do I have a second? Second. Mr. Kramer, please read the resolution.
I do want to point out that the one that you received has it as resolution 2026-03. We realize it's 04, but we just didn't want to waste paper and reprint it. So I will read it the way it will be on the signed copy. Resolution 2026-04 AMA Stream Bank Restoration Project, initiate project 2026-03. Whereas the Shell Rock River Watershed District Board of Managers pursues the mission of implementing reasonable and necessary improvements to the water-related and other natural resources within its boundaries. Whereas the Shell Rock River Watershed District is charged with implementing the Shell Rock River Watershed District Comprehensive Watershed Management Plan. Whereas project goals and objectives set forth in the plan include improve water quality and clarity in the Shell Rock River, improve and enhance waterfowl habitat, increase fisheries habitat, reduce soil loss due to concentrated flow during storm events, control and prevent erosion along lake shore and restore severely damaged shoreline areas, minimize flood damage to property and preserve the function of the floodplain. Therefore, the Board of Manager hereby finds that the project has potential to promote the public interest and welfare, is practical, and conforms to the watershed management plan as set forth above. Therefore, be it hereby resolved that the Shell Rock River Watershed District initiates project number 2026-03 AMA Stream Bank Restoration Project, authorizes district staff to negotiate professional service agreements to promote and complete the AMA Stream Bank Restoration Project. Section 3 authorizes district staff to conduct work as needed to present this project to the board for review and public hearing as required by law, dated February 10th, 2026.
Is there any discussion? Hearing none. Call roll.
Manager Bakken,
Aye.
Manager DeBoer.
Aye.
Manager Kramer.
Aye.
Manager Besuski,
Aye.
Manager Lee,
Aye.
Manager Delger.
Aye. Resolution 2026-04 passes.
Thank you.
Item number 6. Pursuant to the Minnesota Open Meeting Law, the meeting will now be closed to discuss Fountain Lake Restoration Project permit appeal. We are closed. Board manager has concluded in closed session on the Fountain Lake Restoration Project permit appeal. This regular board meeting of the Shell Rock River Watershed and reopened the regular meeting. So we are now open to the regular meeting closed. The closed session. There. Item number 7, Administrator Andy Henschel.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. So we will, after the closed session, with the talks regarding the Fountain Lake Phase 3 dredging project, we do have a little bit of an update, and we do have a couple action items that need to be taken under item A. So again, first, just to go through, the permit is still in appeals with the Minnesota Department of Natural Resources in the Attorney General's office. Again, we feel like we're close. We did receive their latest draft of that permit yesterday afternoon. However, there's still a few items that we feel need to be negotiated. 2 items, just some wording for the areas to be dredged in Bancroft Bay, along with the vegetation management plan approval. So we will continue those talks with the DNR. However, we are under some timelines with the project bids. So that will be an area where we also have to take some action here. We will need a motion to have a special meeting, probably more than likely the last week of February. And then we will also need a motion with the motion of intent to award JF Brennan for the Phase 3 bid for the Fountain Lake Restoration Project. So with that, again, just starting with the recommendations from the Best Value Committee regarding the bid that we received from JF Brennan. Again, they were the only bid we received. We had 3 contractors attend the pre-bid meeting. Those contractors were JF Brennan, Vite, and Dredge America out of Missouri. However, we only had 1 of those 3 submit a bid, and that was JF Brennan. We did go through the best value process and scored JF Brennan's bid. The committee scored them with 89 points and made a recommendation to the board that they did meet all the pass fail and they had a good bid with a price of $8.5 million for both Main Bay and the optional portion of the bid for Bancroft Bay. With that, then the dredge committee met. Dredge committee also had a recommendation after looking through the budget, is making a recommendation to the full board to approve the intent to award the contract to JF Brennan and allowing staff to negotiate final price. And so that is the 2 action items that we do need the board to move on here.
You do them individually.
Yes, please.
Okay. So then the first one would be this, need a motion to have a special meeting in February
Last week in February.
So,
by Manager Lee. Do I have a second? Second. The Manager DeBoer, any discussion? Hearing none, will you please call roll?
Manager Bakken.
Aye.
Manager DeBoer.
Aye.
Manager Kramer.
Aye.
Manager Pasuski.
Aye.
Manager Lee.
aye,
Manager Dalton.
Aye. Second one is for the bid for intent to approve the bid.
Yeah, so I'm looking for a motion of intent to award the contract to JF Brennan Companies to be awarded for the Fountain Lake Phase 3 dredging project, subject to negotiation of contract terms, including lower price.
So moved.
By Manager Bakken, do I have a second? Second. By Manager DeBoer, any discussion? None? Call roll.
Manager Vaca,
Aye.
Manager DeBoer,
Aye.
Manager Kramer,
Aye.
Manager Besuski,
Aye.
Manager Lee,
Aye.
Manager Delter.
Aye, motion carried.
Thank you, Mr. Chair and Board. Item B is a motion to approve the general obligation bond finance property declaration. Again, this is a declaration. This actually stems back to our first bond. Our first bonding bill that we had with the Minnesota Department of Natural Resources for the 7.5 million that we received in bonding for the Pelham Lake Restoration Project. But then also wraps into this second $9 million bond. Again, this is, I believe, coming out of all of the fraud stuff that has occurred. This is some declaration that they should have had on the property that was purchased with the bond dollars. So this would be the CDF cell 1 site. So again, we are just working with the DNR to make sure we have the proper paperwork in order, and one of those that they are missing is this declaration. So we have been working with Matt Bauman from DNR Grants Department to get this final final declaration signed by our board and to the DNR for our bonding of the 9 million and 7.5.
Do I have a motion? So, that motion. Manager Kramer, do I have a second?
Second.
Manager Lee, or is that Lee?
Yeah.
Manager Lee, any discussion? Hearing none, please call roll.
Manager Vaca,
Aye.
Manager DeBoer,
Aye.
Manager Kramer,
Aye.
Manager Besuski,
Aye.
Manager Lee,
Aye.
Manager Delter.
Aye, motion carried.
Thank you, Mr. Chair and Board. Item C is just some general discussion on the local option sales tax. This is, again, the existing half-cent local option sales tax, we feel expires or will be expiring here in March of 2026. So we are looking to renew that. We do have to have a resolution from the city of Albert Lea because it is a city of Albert Lea sales tax to renew that. We have been working with the city of Albert Lea to renew that. And we have come to an agreement that we will roughly, for the Shell Rock River Watershed Water Management Plan, we will renew our existing language for the local option sales tax. So if we're not looking at implementing a new tax, this will be a renewal. However, we will drop that basically from a half cent to a quarter cent. So it's not there's no new taxes being generated here. This is a renewal. The city will ask for basically a new tax for their items, but the max collected would still be at that half cent, if that makes sense. So there's not a there's not a new tax being proposed. This is just a renewal of us at 0.25 and then basically the city at 0.25 for their projects. I believe the city has 4 projects listed for their portion of the sales tax. We left ours exactly the same for what we do within the management plan of the districts. So that language will stay the same. We are looking at for the watershed district collecting roughly 20 million over 20 years. Again, so that's about $1 million a year. That's initially what the first sales tax was trying to raise, is that $1 million a year. So you can see how much the sales tax has grown because we're now collecting almost 2 million a year at the 0.5%. So again, looking at those as far as rates or percentages for each entity. I will say again, if this does pass state legislature here this summer, then this will go to a vote for the citizens of Albert Lea to vote on. They will actually vote on each of the projects separately. So the watershed will have their project and a vote yes or no, and then the city will have their 4 projects, vote yes or no. If one of those projects fails, remember they have to pass by 51%. If one of those projects fail, the rest of the whatever percentage of that sales tax that went to that actually falls off of the sales tax collected. It doesn't go back to the other projects within that. So there is a chance that the sales tax could go down, but it will never go up from the 0.5%. So just wanted to make that clarification. I do have a meeting today with our lobbyist, the city of Alberta and their lobbyist. Game planning now, we did send, or the city did send the resolution language to the state of Minnesota. So that is getting worked on as we speak to be put into the sales tax bill. And we'll negotiate, we're going to be discussing a game plan on how to move the projects forward through the legislature. So any comments on the local option sales tax? All right, hearing none, Mr. Chair, that is all I have.
Okay, then I go to item number 8, manager item.
Well, I've been to a couple of meetings over the past month. I went to the January 20th county board meeting. And there wasn't a whole lot there that after the watershed district anyway. But I do want to bring up that on Thursday, February 12th from 5:30 to 7 p.m. in the boardroom that they're going to be taking, people are being there sharing their concerns or views on letting rifle shoot deer within Freeburg County in this deer season. So if anybody's watching or any of you guys deer on, go up there and just let your feelings be heard on the field. And then last night I went to the city council meeting and there's a lot of public comment on a couple of different issues. And Ted Herman was appointed to the Ward 3 vacancy because Jason Howland left and moved on to the cities. And other than that, there wasn't really a whole lot that affected the watershed military. So that's it for me.
Any other manager items? Mr. Buckley.
So the legislative day is 3rd and 4th of this year. I went last year. I think Mike was there, Courtney was there, Andy. No. Anyway, I was hoping that maybe Mick and Dan could lead our delegation. You get to meet the DNR commissioner in a casual evening, and then
What's the dates?
Pardon?
What are the dates?
The 3rd and 4th of March.
Like the meeting is like 3 o'clock in the afternoon, and you meet with the elected officials next point.
And maybe if you go up a little early, we can go over to DNR and thank them for the permit and stuff that we're gonna have at the end of February, but
I think I can do that.
and I'd like to see that bus we had a couple months ago and everybody go up there and staff if you wanna go along or whatever, but try not to assault them like I almost did. I'm just gonna put my arm around, what's his name? Bob? From the DNR, and I kind of went up to him and I went like that instead.
It's more like that.
Yeah. But
you were thinking one thing and did another.
I know. So, but I'd like Dan to lead it or Mick or whatever, and let's go up there and mingle that night a little bit and we can have the meeting earlier in the day. And if the permit's here, we'll just go over and thank them and pick them some steak or whatever it takes.
It's 2 days.
Well, it starts the afternoon of the 3rd and then usually the morning of the 4th.
Okay.
So usually we hear from DNR and then that'll be like Thursday, that'll start the day of the 3rd, usually at 1 o'clock, right after lunch, we'll start. We'll have some programs and then the morning of the 4th, we'll have go up and meet with like Peggy and Dornick and whoever else. And what we'll be going up there for is the sales tax renewal and then whatever other resolutions that Minnesota Watersheds is trying to pass, which includes DNR permit. So So yeah, I know Brad's going for sure. Mike, have you signed up yet?
I got doctor appointments going on.
Okay.
I want to, but I don't think.
Yeah, if you wanna go, just set it up with Leah. Leah can get you a hotel room if you wanna stay up there. And get you signed up for the legislative days. So, yeah.
Oh,
I'll second that.
You know, you're eligible too, you know.
yeah. That'd be good.
Any other manager items?
Yeah, I've got a few things. One of the legislative day, I'm wondering if we can maybe look at a few more legislators or whatever, whoever up there might be valuable to meet with, because Peggy's running for governor, so this will. One way or another will be, her last year up there, so I think we should focus on a few other legislators as well, just neighboring or important legislators just in this process of being on different committees and whatnot. So it's not just talk to the two and on the way home. Let's see, and then board appointments. I mean, a couple discussions I've had with county commissioners in the past. They'd like to see us actually bring our board appointment requests to the county commissioners like well beforehand. So it's not like the week before their meeting, they get the letter of who's looking to be reappointed. So probably the next month, we should start sending them letters, and
I usually give it to them a month in advance.
so. And then the next thing I have is just two resources out there. Bowser came out with a video, I tagged you in it, that kind of describes the different committees and stuff out there, like the hierarchy of how all the watershed funding and all that goes. I haven't had a chance to review it, but it looks like a really good resource. So people who are what are all these alphabet soup agencies that get their fingers in this process, should be a good explanation of it, good learning tool. And another one is there's a YouTube channel called Practical Engineering, an engineer that describes things and shows them in a way that makes sense. And he has a really good one I was watching the other night on water retention ponds. And because we get involved in so many of those, and there's so many, I get so many questions on what are these things that we spend all this money on. And he does a really good job of getting into describing them from an engineer's perspective, but using props that we don't usually get to see how these wetland restorations and water retention projects work. So just a great resource. So a couple resources I wanted to share.
Yeah, thanks, Brad.
Okay.
The other. I did attend one of the city council meetings this month, the first one I think was it. And he was also there. We wanted to hear what they had to say about the cent sales tax and then to see what the council is actually thinking about different things with the 4 different areas that they want to spend the money on. So it was kind of interesting to hear how they felt about certain things. Turned out pretty good. But that was the reason I went, and it was good. Anything else? Yeah, we got the watershed, March 3rd and 4th, whoever wants to go to that. And then our next meeting is March 10th. Before that, probably special meeting.
Yes, and for that special meeting, just if you can plan on last week of February, and we'll just have Leah work with you guys to figure out what day and time works best. So please get back to Leah when she texts you. I know she has some problems with some people getting back to her right away. So if you could
Getting back.
assist Leah. If we can assist Leah in getting some days and times, that would be perfect. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Only times I have available are the 26th and 27th.
Only 2 I don't have, it's 26 and 27. Well, I could work.
Yeah.
Good luck.
Oh, man.
You're gone Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday.
Yes, actually. Yeah, gone for about 5-6 days there. Yeah. Yeah, I'm gonna be down in Florida. See how you always like it down there.
I'm living on the 8th, so I'll still be around for the one. I'll be gone for town.
Also hit and miss that week. I'll be down doing some hazmat training for all over the place. So got about 2 days that week that'll work.
We can probably do some of it by Zoom too, if you guys.
On the 27th.
We'll get right down, aren't we?
I'll make it.
You can give a couple of us power of attorney, we'll take care of it.
Couple of you. All right, anything else? Adjourn. The manager Kramer, do we have a second?
Second.
And Manager Bakken. Leah, please call roll.
Manager Bakken,
Aye.
Manager DeBoer,
Aye.
Manager Kramer,
Aye.
Manager Sis,
All right.
Manager Lee,
Hi.
Manager Belcher.
Aye.